Hi there, Lisa Rana here, and welcome to another video. Today's cards are all about creating two cards from one die cut background stamp. I love that brick background with a bit of shine from some foiled cardstock. I'm excited to be using the Hit the Bricks background stamp designed by Brutus Monroe and made by Unity Stamp Company, and then paired with the hummingbird and flower from the Faith and Hope set by Unity Stamp Company. I've pre-stamped my brick background on some craft cardstock, and I'm just going to get my dies all set to go. I'm using a stitched rectangle and then a stitched circle in the center, and I've taped those all down with washi tape so it won't move when I run it through my die cut machine. We're just going to separate those two apart, and I have a rectangle and a circle, one for each card. Let's start with the rectangle. For our first card, I have some green foiled cardstock, and I'm just going to place that behind the circle and then lay that down on my card so I can get an idea of the placement of that foiled cardstock, just so I know the center of my circle will be filled with that cardstock. I added some foam adhesive to the back of the panel here and popping that up on my card. Next, I've already fussy cut out the flower and the hummingbird, again stamped on some craft cardstock, and popped that up with foam adhesive as well. Now I'm using my MISTI to stamp my sentiment. I have a creative corner in the bottom there, just helps to place my sentiment strip and keep everything straight. And I'm stamping this in some frost white color box white ink. I'm going to be embossing it in white, so I like to use a white pigment ink for this. That way I know my sentiment will be completely in white. Now I'm going to grab my embossing powder. I prepped the paper with an embossing powder tool. That helps to keep the static down so I don't have as many stray embossing marks, but I also use a paintbrush to kind of get rid of the ones that got away from me. I've preheat my embossing tool for at least 30 to 60 seconds to make sure it gets really hot, and then embossed my sentiment really quickly, held it closely, and that helps to reduce the warping of the paper. Now I'm going to notch out the end here, create a banner-like sentiment. And then also add a bit of foam adhesive just to the end. That will pop up one side so it matches the height of the flower. And then I'm going to add a bit of glue to the other side, and that will tack down or tack the sentiment to the back of the flower. So again, it's equal height. Perfect. And the last thing I'm going to do is to add a few sequins. This is the Audrey sequin collection by Unity Stamp Company. Has some pretty grays and blues, but I'm focusing on the grays mainly in this set to kind of accent and add another layer of shine to this card. I'm using glossy accents to glue them down, and that pencil thing is a rhinestone picker upper pencil. I'm not really sure. I think it's just called a rhinestone pencil, and that helps to pick up each sequin and put it in place. So here's our finished card. I love the brick background, which is perfect for the flower and the hummingbird scene, and a bit of shine from that green foiled cardstock and the sequins as well. Just a lovely, easy design that could be used for any occasion by switching out that sentiment. So let's move on to our second card using the brick circle. I have a basic standard size card covered in black cardstock, and I've wrapped some string around the center and tying it in a quick bow. Added some foam adhesive to the back of that circle and popping that up on the front of the card. And again, I have my flower and hummingbird fussy cut out and popped up on foam adhesive. Just going to put that at the bottom corner of that brick circle, and then the hummingbird popped up above. And now that I have those elements in place, I'm just going to fiddle with this bow a little bit, make sure it's the size I like, and then trim the ends. And I've already embossed my sentiment on some of that green foil cardstock this time. And I'm doing the same thing, notching out the end, adding a little bit of foam adhesive, and then some glue to the other end. Again, just trying to keep the level of the sentiment even with the flowers. Just going to tuck that in back there. And then just like the other card, I'm just going to add some sequins. This time I'm using the Audrey and the Ariel collection. The green from the Ariel and the gray from the Audrey. And just putting them in an arrangement of 3s. So here's our second card all finished, using the brick circle as our backdrop for the flower and the hummingbird, and then a bit of sparkle from the green foiled cardstock sentiment and this sequence as well. I love that with one die cut and an easy layout we can get a matching lovely card set. Please give this video a thumbs up and subscribe if you liked it. Plus, if you have any questions or a sweet comment, post below. Thanks for watching, you guys. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you next time. Bye!